This is the legendary tale of how darkness cannot snuff out the light. The tale of Fyore, the kind mage. Now where were we? Ah yes, Chapter 8, Falkreath Conspiracies.
Fine run! Sure, mercy on you! Victory or Sovngarde!
Are you okay, Fyore? Asks Jatabe as he tries to catch his breath. Yeah, I'm okay. I can't believe we were deceived. Back in Falkreath, we accepted that quest to clear out the cave spiders, but there's nothing in here but angry bandits who refuse diplomatic discussion, replied Fyore. You actually think someone intentionally mislabeled that quest on the city board? Asked Jatabe. Hard to say, but you best believe if we make it out alive, someone is going to answer for this chaos here today, replied Fyore. We need to find a way out of here fast, said Jatabe. Agreed. Let's head back through the tunnels. Best be on your guard. These bandits are hellbent, and only Talos knows why. After Fyore and Jatabe left Falkreath, they journeyed northwest for roughly 1 day until they reached the cave with the alleged spider infestation. Upon entering the cave, Fyore faces Jatabe and says, "Okay, let's make this fast. In and out, take care of the spider infestation, and head back to town for our reward. Sound good?" Fyore noticed Jatabe was not fully listening. "Hey, what is it?" asked Fyore. Jatabe motioned ahead and with lowered voice said, "Something is up ahead. You see that?" Fyore peers through the tunnel and notices something off in the distance. Quietly, the two press deeper into the tunnel. Fyore notices a dead man hanging over a ledge just up ahead. Fyore quickly wades through the water and runs over to him and checks for vital signs. "He's gone," says Fyore as he turns towards Jatabe. "Spiders must have gotten to him," replied Jatabe. "Let's be on our guard as we delve deeper. Cave spiders can be nasty if they catch you unaware," said Fyore as he led Jatabe further into the cave through jagged rocks and several streams. As they round several descending tunnels, Fyore sees a Nord patrolling an open space filled with water just up ahead and calls out to the man. "Hello there," says Fyore as he cautiously approaches the Nord. The Nord quickly faces Fyore and mutters something to himself.
"Wow, another one."
"Pardon me and my friend here, we've come from Falkreath and didn't expect to see another adventurer in here," says Fyore.
"Falkreath, you say? Well. That y'all has been busy, it seems. You're the 9th shipment this week,"
says the barbaric-looking man. "I'm sorry, I don't quite understand," replied Fyore.
"No use in trying to understand. You won't be sentient for much longer anyhow. Don't worry, I'll make it fast. But I'll tell you what. I'm feeling rather generous. I'll even give you the option of your fate. Thrall or corpse."
Fyore feels a sinking feeling in his gut and senses an evil presence in the air. "It would seem we've stumbled into the wrong cave. Sorry for interrupting. We'll be taking our leave now," replies Fyore as he attempts to disengage the bandit.
"Oh, no, you're in the right place. Let me guess, you're looking to make some quick coin, so you took an easy quest from the city of Falkreath to kill some cave spiders. Am I right?
Fyore and Jatabe remained silent.
Figures as much. No worry, that quest has fooled more men and women than you could imagine. Terrible for you, but awfully good for our business.
And what might that business be? Asked Fyore.
Simple. Providing necromancers with an endless supply of thralls and corpses.
Fyore feels himself begin to tremble, but quickly steadies himself and says, "As I've already told you, we are taking our leave."
So you've chosen to be a corpse,
replied the bandit as he drew his weapon to strike Fyore. Suddenly, before the blade could cut through Fyore, Jatabe ran his own sword through the man, dropping his dead body in the shallow waters. Before Fyore and Jatabe could process what just happened, more bandits appear from within the cave, surrounding Fyore and Jatabe as the barbaric man lies motionless at their feet. Fyore attempts to calm the bandits by yelling out to them, "Wait, there's been a misunderstanding." However, they could not be subdued. The bandits, with weapons drawn, rushed towards Fyore and Jatabe with bloodlust. Overcome by adrenaline, Jatabe rushes head-on towards the bandits, blocking their blows while crippling each foe one by one. Fyore, left with no other choice but to defend himself, provides ranged attacks and cover for his nimble ally as they fought what felt like thousands of bandits. One after another, Jatabe and Fyore eliminated each bandit until the floor was covered in corpses. Fyore, now standing with his back against Jatabe's, lets out a deep sigh. "We need to get out of here," says Jatabe. "Agreed. Let's head back through the tunnels towards the exit. Best be on your guard. These bandits are hellbent, and only Talos knows why," replied Fyore as they turned to leave. Suddenly, a man appears at the mouth of the tunnel and says,
"Well done. I say well done. You've killed my best spiders, my strongest men, leaving me outnumbered."
"Who's there?" yells Fyore as he and Jatabe withdraw their weapons, bracing themselves for another fight.
Now, I have no intention of fighting you. After all, it would be 2-on-1, and that cat of yours is rather fast with that blade,
replied the mysterious man. "Who are you, and what is going on here?" asked Fyore sternly.
Straight to the point, this one. My name is Rast, and as I'm sure you've gathered, I am, in simple terms, a middleman.
"Is it true? Is it true that you partner with necromancers?" asked Fyore.
Well, seeing as you've completely destroyed my operation here, there's no sense in hiding it. I work with the Jarl of Falkreath and provide bodies for necromancers. To think that after running this for 5 years, that we would be undone by an old man and his cat is, well, embarrassing,"
says Rast. "I see. So you lure in adventurers with an easy quest with a high payout and ambush them when they arrive?" asked Jatabe.
Oh my, so your cat can speak with eloquence. Never heard the cat folk speak like us Nords before,
replied Rast.
But to answer your question, yes. And we've loaded in some amazing specimen over the years too. And got a fat sack of gold in the process.
"So, it's all about the gold for you. But what's in it for the Jarl?" asked Jatabe as Fyore remained silent.
Well, for one, his reign as Jarl is funded and secured from his allies in the shadows. But I've heard rumors on the wind that the Jarl is undergoing a life-extending ritual performed by a necromancer in exchange for human samples. You see, every so often we will receive an extracted heart from the necromancer with the instructions to deliver it to the Jarl so that he may eat it. Honestly, it's none of my concern. I just keep the shipments coming.
You disgust me. How could you capture innocent people and then hand them over to be abducted by necromancers? Asks Fyore.
Oh, get off your high horse. You came in here and slaughtered every last one of my men.
You left us no choice. Your men ignored any diplomatic discussion and refused to seek understanding peacefully, replied Fyore.
And yet, their blood is on your hands. You see, we are all in this never-ending cycle of self-preservation and will ensure our own survival by any means. For example, that Jarl. He engages in dark arts to fund his reign as leader of Falkreath, even giving up his own citizens to extend his life. For me, I capture any and all who wander into my spiderweb and prepare their bodies for my client to afford my next meal. You have used the convenience of another man's first strike to justify the total annihilation of my clan. You are just like me, just like the Jarl, just like the necromancers. You do what it takes to live. You do what it takes to survive.
Suddenly, Rast draws his blade with the intent to strike Fyore dead, but Chitabe quickly runs him through, saving Fyore once again. With Rast bleeding out on the watery floor, Fyore hears him mutter something under his breath. Don't pull the threads. Come on, Fyore, let's get out of here, says Chitabe. Fyore, looking at Rast's dead body, says, okay, and together they escape the water-logged tunnels. About a mile away from the cave, Fyore and Chitabe stop and set up a camp to rest for the night. As the two stood by the fire, Chitabe broke the silence and asked, Am I like them? Fyore looks at Chitabe and notices he seems different. Was that your first time? Asked Fyore. What do you mean? Was that your first kill? Asked Fyore. Yes, replied Chitabe slowly. Is it true what Rast said about us being evil like them? Fyore pauses and looks at Chitabe. What did you feel when you killed them? Asked Fyore. Chitabe pauses and says, sadness. Then why did you continue to do it and not stop after the first one? Asked Fyore. Because I wanted to protect you. You are the purest soul I've ever met, replied Chitabe. Then use that as your basis. When your sadness turns to numb rage, you've gone too far on the path towards evil. The moment your desire to protect purity corrupts into a desire to enact revenge, you've gone too far on the path towards evil. Stay within these boundaries and always seek peace. Allow these tenets to preserve your life, replied Fyore. Chitabe sat in silence as he processed Fyore's words. And no, you are not like them. Don't let Rast's words haunt you. He was twisted. In fact, you saved my life today. Twice, actually, and for that you have my deepest thanks. Ha, I told you I'm good with the blade, replied Chitabe in a teasing voice. Can I ask you something? Was that your first kill? Asked Chitabe. Fyore pauses and then says, sadly, no. My first kill was a necromancer. You see, I believe peace ought to be found through diplomatic measures. However, I was in a rather difficult situation. Killing that man, my first kill, meant a life of freedom for me. I would like to think it was justified, but perhaps it wasn't. After all, it's hard not enjoying the death of someone who tortured and enslaved you for years on end. Only a saint could grieve the death of his enemy, replied Fyore. Is that when you got amnesia? Asked Chitabe. Fyore took in a deep breath and said, well, I suppose you ought to know if you plan on traveling with me. I also don't know if today was irony or fate that I found myself once again involved with the necromancer. Well, at any rate, get comfortable. This may take a while, says Fyore. Jatabe listened for hours by the fire as Fyore told him everything. Every detail from the moment Fyore regained consciousness to their present moment. Jatabe learned how Fyore was abducted by the evil necromancer and the years he spent as a mindless thrall. How he was rescued by Linnea the vampire. How he was prevented from ending his life by Elda's kind words. How he befriended Tolfdir and mastered powerful alteration magic. And how he collapsed returning from Sarthal and was saved by Dager. And finally, how Fyore traveled to Falkreath in search of clues regarding his forgotten past. After listening to Fyore's tale, Jatabe looks at Fyore and says, "After enduring that terrible abuse from the necromancer, you've somehow kept your heart soft towards others. I believe if saints are real, you must be one of them. In all my life, no Nord has treated me as kind as you, and certainly never offered to clear my parents' debts. This is why from tonight on, I pledge my blade to guard your pure soul, wherever you go, as long as I live, so that more people in Skyrim can meet the kindest mage," said Jatabe. Fyore, touched by Jatabe's kind words, replies, "You have a good fire within that chest. Fight to ensure the cold winds of Skyrim never blow it out. Understand?" asked Fyore. "You got it," replied Jatabe as he smiled at Fyore. They both sat in silence for several moments. "So, what now?" asked Jatabe. "As much as I wish to avoid any dealings with necromancers, I cannot sit idly by knowing that innocent people are being abducted under the rule of that Jarl of Falkreath. We need to put an end to this," replied Fyore. "That may prove difficult. That Jarl is a prideful man and would never admit his dealings in the dark, not to mention that he is heavily guarded at all hours of the day and night," says Jatabe. "Tell me, since you have lived in Falkreath for all your life, is there anyone with political power that would aid us in dealing with the Jarl?" asked Fyore. "Actually, yes, the treasurer, named Tessa. She not only has the ear of the city elders, but also the respect of the people. She often opposes rulings of the Jarl as she thinks he is an ill-equipped leader. She certainly would at least hear us out if we had ample evidence," says Jatabe. "Wonderful. Then I have a plan to end the reign of this tyrant and his blight on Falkreath."